to see my psychic, or a psychic lady who I've seen once before in the past. Bit of a funny story with this one. I posted in my Coffee with Carissa Facebook group about it yesterday, and I'll put some screenshots in this video so you can see what I mean. But I have this thing with 1111. I see it all the time when I'm, on the right path, and I've looked into it a lot, and I know that it's my life path number, and I've done a bit of studying with numerology and stuff since it started happening. Anyone who's been either, friends with me on Facebook or in one of my Facebook groups or my courses and stuff for ages will know how freakishly, often it pops up in my life, and that seems to have certain meanings. So yesterday, I'll go back and tell the story of when I first saw this lady. I've never seen a psychic before, a couple of years ago, and my friend Louise wanted to take me to see one. I can't remember why she took me. It was either for a birthday present or a wedding present or something, but it was basically just before me and Travis got married. And the person that she'd booked in with we'd already had it booked in for a couple of weeks already, I think, or even a month maybe, and unfortunately he had to cancel last minute. So we rebooked with this lady, Gina Alston, who's in Brackenridge, in the north side of Brisbane. I'll give her a plug because she's awesome. And Louise wasn't very happy about it because she really wanted to see this other guy, but I didn't really mind because I didn't know anything about anyone or how it works or anything. And so yeah, we went to see her, and we both had a 1 hour session, and Louise went first and I wrote notes for her. And the psychic lady, basically, Louise wanted to connect with somebody on the other side, basically. She wanted someone spirit to come through her and talk to one of her loved ones. And that didn't happen for her. And the psychic Gina said, she can't force people to come through you if they aren't ready or if they don't have anything to say or, that kind of thing. So I was just sitting there going, not really expecting, not knowing what to expect. And then, so it was my turn after an hour, and I wrote all the notes for Louise, and then I sat in the chair, and she said straight away, as soon as my bum hit the chair, she's like, well, there was no one there to see Louise, but there's someone here to see you. And I just had this feeling come over me, this sensation in my body, which I can only describe as being light and heavy at the same time. It was like I got really lightheaded and all of the weight lifted out of my body, but there was also some kind of pressure keeping me in the chair. That's the only way that I can kind of describe it. And I've talked to a few other people who have had this experience, and they said it's quite similar for them as well. But I think if you've never had that happen before, then you wouldn't understand what it feels like. But it was a very unique feeling. I'd never felt it before in my life. And I was like, well, who is it? Like, what's going on? Why is someone wanting to come through me? And she said straight away that it's a woman, and kind of gave a basic, this was 2 years ago now, so I can't remember everything, but gave a basic description of kind of what she looked like and that kind of thing. And straight away I was like, oh, that must be Travis's mum, because Travis's mum passed away when he was quite young, and we were about to get married. So I was like, okay, this is interesting. I've never met her before. I had one experience where I think that I saw her presence in our house once, but I was kind of half asleep, so I didn't know if it was real or not, or if I was dreaming it. Yeah, so straight away all of this stuff started coming through. She said, first thing she said was there something to do with a fry pan yesterday? And I was like, oh, that's weird. I was standing in my kitchen yesterday cooking with a fry pan, and this is when I had my business from home, had two of my girls working in the office in the lounge room that I'd set up, and I walked in and even said to them, like, I can't remember the last time that I cooked with a fry pan. And she said, yeah, she was there with you then. And I was like, oh, okay, weird. She said something about, I can't remember what the reference was to the fry pan, but anyway. And then there was all this more stuff that was about our wedding coming up. Said she was going to be at the wedding and that we should have a red flower there to represent her. So we specifically had a single red rose, on the signing table at our wedding. And then all this other stuff started coming up about Spain. She said something really significant was going to happen in Spain, and I'd never mentioned Spain to her at all. That just came out of the blue. And yeah, we were going to Spain after our wedding, and it was when we were going to Ibiza to party, and I got really, really sick on the first day that we got there, and that's when I kind of had this almost epiphany realization that I didn't want that kind of lifestyle anymore. I'd previously done a lot of partying and drinking a lot and all of that kind of stuff, and I was just so turned off it when I was there by just not being able to participate and by watching what the behaviour of others and that kind of thing. And so I made a massive life-changing decision. She said when I get back from our trip I probably won't want to drink anymore. That was really quite bizarre. Anyway, that was back then, and I did go to see her one other time, and no spiritual or anything came through me. But right now, when I'm making this video, I'm currently 26 weeks pregnant, which is very exciting, with our first baby. We've been trying for quite a while, like since the wedding, on and off, but I was quite stressed and it wasn't really the right time, so it just didn't happen. And just yesterday, I was just laying down on my bed. I was feeling quite exhausted because I didn't have a very good sleep the night before, and I was just like, what am I going to do today? Or, just having one of those moments where you feel a bit lost and you're not sure what to do. And all of a sudden, I got this burst of energy, and I woke up and I had this thought in my head, and I can't describe it because I don't know if it was a voice or if it was an idea or something, but the idea or the thought of Travis's mum came into my head saying, you need to book an appointment with that psychic, like now or as soon as possible. So it was just this random urge, and I just got this rush of energy. I was totally awake again. I went from almost falling asleep to being wide awake. Picked up my phone next to me. It was like 10 a.m. And I just text Gina, the lady, and said, can I, hi Gina, how are you? I'm just wondering if you do readings on the weekend at all, and if so, do you have any appointments available for 2 people to come in on the weekend? And I had no idea what date or time it was or anything either. I hadn't looked into this. And she sent me a message back straight away that said, hi Carissa, I can do 1 p.m. tomorrow on the 11th. So, she said 12 or 1, but my phone automatically highlighted 1 p.m. on the 11th, so that's the 1111 thing coming through. So straight away I was just like, oh holy shit, okay, it's the 11th tomorrow, 1 p.m, like this is these things happen to me when it's meant to be or something like that. And so I was just like, okay, weird, I'll book it in, or I'll ask Travis, or I'll book it in to confirm. And then she sent another message back saying, thanks, that's been booked in 1 p.m. On the 11th, and that message came through right on 11 a.m. So I screenshotted that and posted it in my group as well. I was like, oh, this is getting freaky, because I talked about it straight away. And then everyone was like, oh, I can't remember what people were commenting on the post, but and I got up, this is still in the Facebook group, and then Louise, who was the friend that took me to see her in the first place as a gift, left this comment on my post that said, oh my God, I'll never forget that day. Like it was absolutely meant to happen for you, not so much for me, but for you. And that message came through at exactly 11:11 when it turned 11:11. I was like, oh my God, this is getting way too weird. Anyway, that's where we are, and so we're on our way there now. I'm obviously not going to record anything during the session because I want to be very much in the moment, but yeah, I did afterwards just I even said to Travis, I stood up and said out loud, thank you, Suzanne, because I feel like, I have no idea what to expect. I either said to Travis, I don't know if she's going to make an appearance today or if it's just that we need to go and hear something that the psychic's going to talk about. Maybe she just wants to be present with us and the baby, or something, I don't know, we'll find out. But I'll make another video afterwards and see if anything interesting happened. I don't want to hype it up too much in case it doesn't, but yeah.